Sultan Abdul Hamid II ascended to the throne of the Ottoman Empire in 1876, while the empire was burdened with a variety of internal and external problems. This was a time when the territory of the Ottoman Empire was reduced to a shell of its former self. The British had occupied Egypt, Sudan, and Cyprus. The French had taken control of Algeria and Tunisia, and the Russians were supporting violent rebellions in Bulgaria and the Balkans. The internal situation of the empire was also dangerous. Western ideas such as ethno-nationalism were gaining ground, and many young Ottoman groups began calling for the westernization and the destruction of the caliphate. During this turbulent period, Sultan Abdul Hamid was able to resist Western powers by showing immense courage and bravery, and he was able to hold the Ottoman Empire together by promoting a spirit of Islamic unity. In order to fight the emerging threat of Western domination and colonialism, Abdul Hamid invested in modern infrastructure and technology. He once stated, "I am a supporter of progress. Whatever is invented in Europe should be made in our country." He built tram lines, telegraph lines, and other modern infrastructure across the empire. During his reign, the Bursa, Jerusalem, Ankara, Damascus, Beirut, and Konya railway lines were opened, and he also connected various parts of the Ottoman Empire with 30,000 kilometers of telegraph and telephone lines. Sultan Abdul Hamid also opened many hospitals such as the Atfal Children's Hospital in Istanbul. He also gave great importance to education. During the reign of Abdul Hamid, many schools and universities were opened, such as the Darul Funun Istanbul University, and many other vocational schools were opened to train dentists and vets. Sultan Abdul Hamid also opened radio stations all over the country, and he also established a paper factory. Because of the fast advancement of Western military technology, Sultan Abdul Hamid also conducted military reforms, such as the introduction of submarines into the Ottoman Navy, which even the British Army did not possess at the time. However, the introduction of modern technology did not prevent Abdul Hamid from preserving and protecting the religious and cultural values of the Ottoman Empire. During the reign of Abdul Hamid, the Asar-e-Atika regulation was issued, which prevented all kinds of historical artifacts within the Ottoman Empire from leaving the borders of the empire. Sultan Abdul Hamid also opened many Ottoman museums to fill citizens with pride of their Islamic history and heritage. Sultan Abdul Hamid was a religious man who encouraged the performing of Islamic rituals. One of his greatest achievements was the construction of the Hijaz Railway in order to make the Hajj Islamic pilgrimage easier for Muslims across the empire. The Hijaz Railway allowed pilgrims to travel from Damascus to Medina. This journey was previously extremely difficult and dangerous for pilgrims who had to travel in caravans and were exposed to banditry from raiding Arab tribes in the desert. The Hijaz Railway also reduced the time of this journey from 40 days to just 4 days. Apart from the Hijaz Railway, many other projects and reforms of Sultan Abdul Hamid were greatly appreciated by the Arabs of the Ottoman Empire. Sultan Abdul Hamid treated non-Turkish races and minorities equally, and he gave special attention to the education of tribal Arabs in isolated regions of the Arabian Peninsula. In order to facilitate the education of tribal Arabs, Sultan Abdul Hamid ordered the construction of the tribal school in Istanbul in order to provide education to the children of the Arab tribes. These children received education from the ages 12 to 16 so that they could return to their provinces to go on and teach the children of those provinces in the newly established Ottoman schools. Because of these schools, many tribal Arabs went on to become Ottoman governors in their own provinces, which was greatly appreciated by the Arabs of the Ottoman Empire. Sultan Abdul Hamid also defended Palestine from Zionist threats. In 1901, the Hungarian Zionist known as Theodor Herzl met with Sultan Abdul Hamid in order to persuade him to open Jewish immigration to Palestine and allow them to establish settlements to reside in. In this meeting, Sultan Abdul Hamid rejected Theodor's offer to sell land to European Jews. He stated, "I will not even sell a single inch of this land, because this land does not belong to me. Rather, it belongs to my people." Apart from uniting Muslims such as Arabs, Turks, and Kurds who were living within the Ottoman Empire, Sultan Abdul Hamid also attempted to unite other Muslims outside of the borders of the Ottoman Empire in order to fight against European colonialism around the world. Sultan Abdul Hamid tried to strengthen the bonds of brotherhood between the Muslims of India, Central Asia, China, Southeast Asia, Africa, and other regions. For example, Sultan Abdul Hamid funded the anti-British Yemeni freedom fighter known as Fadl bin Alawi, who fought against British forces in the Hadramaut region in the south of the Arabian Peninsula. Sultan Abdul Hamid also assisted the wealthy Kuwaiti merchant known as Yusuf Ibrahim al-Tamimi in his military campaigns against the British-backed King of Kuwait, in order to bring Kuwait back into the Ottoman sphere of influence. He also maintained close contact with Muslims in British-occupied India, and he built a telegraph line from Basra to India. Sultan Abdul Hamid also invited many Indian scholars to Istanbul, such as Shibli Nomani, who was awarded a medal for his achievements in Islamic literature. Sultan Abdul Hamid also sent Ottoman ships with weapons and supplies to Muslim freedom fighters in the Indonesian region of Aceh, who were fighting the Dutch colonial forces. Abdul Hamid also contacted Muslims in different regions of sub-Saharan Africa, and he even funded the construction of a mosque known as Nurul Hamid Mosque in the South African city of Cape Town. Besides the promotion of Islamic unity, Sultan Abdul Hamid also called for religious harmony and equality within the Ottoman Empire. Despite the fact that the European nations were inciting Ottoman Christians such as Armenians and Greeks to revolt against the Ottoman Empire, Sultan Abdul Hamid did not discriminate between religious groups and filled his government with administrators and governors from various different religious backgrounds. People in his administration were chosen purely based on merit and not based on religious affiliation. Because of the united and stable environment during the rule of Sultan Abdul Hamid, it was not possible for any of the major European powers to carve out parts of the Ottoman Empire. Therefore, European countries began to entertain the idea of supporting rebellions in order to overthrow Sultan Abdul Hamid. Sultan Abdul Hamid II ruled the Ottoman Empire for 33 years, until he was deposed in a Western-backed military coup on April 31st, 1909. He was then placed under house arrest and died on February 10th, 1918. Sultan Abdul Hamid II was the last Ottoman ruler to possess actual authority. Within 10 years after his dethronement, 3/4 of the Ottoman Empire was lost to European powers. The Middle East turned into a bloodbath, and the Arab world became a slave of Zionism.